Johnny is reborn. Johnny returns after a period of exile to a world which has changed quite a lot in terms particularly of espionage. I think we ourselves have experienced new versions of that in the recent Bond movies and the Bourne movies. And so I think he's come back to a world which is sharper, faster, more dangerous. Something we try to bring to this film. And here we are today, for example, doing a scene at a casino. We're in Macau, and Johnny's on the first leg of his mission to meet up with ex-CIA agent Titus Fisher. And so he's kind of delighted to be back, but there's a like nervous feeling of, is he a little old-fashioned, is he out of date? And of course, is he slightly too sure of himself for whatever predicament he finds himself? And here, he's not sure where Fisher will be, so he's arriving at the top of the stairs behind me, and with Tucker. Tucker is the spy of the month of the new MI7 regime, and so he's a sort of sparkling new high-tech addition to their pantheon, but at the same time perhaps has very little experience in the field. So Johnny is his mentor, if you like, in this mission. And Johnny's checking his various arms before he goes to meet Fisher, and in doing so he takes out his gun for a moment just to check and drops it, and it bounces down the stairs and causes complete chaos, whether it's shooting the sort of pendants off chandeliers or shooting chips in the air or high heels off ladies' shoes. Everyone falls to the floor and kind of screaming, and Johnny, in his inimitable way, has to cover up. So he pretends it's a magic show, that he and his partner are specialists in the near-death experience, and so it's a typical Johnny cover-up for a typical catastrophe. And I suppose one of the excitements about coming here is it introduces perhaps a more international flavour to the story, more global, if you like. There's a kind of glamour and a whiff of criminality to this kind of location. You don't know who's spying on who. Johnny certainly doesn't know.
Why, and I presume it could have been sort of a Chinese theme in the story, why have you come to Hong Kong? What are the thoughts of the whole scope of the picture?
Hong Kong has been a terrific addition, I think, to the production values of the film. It's got, on the one hand, these great symbols of modernism, thrusting needles of commerce all around the city, and at the same time it's got these Chinese figures you feel are kind of steeped in history and old China, the new mainland, which in fact is where we are now in Macau, brings also a kind of depth of history too. So it's got old and the new. It's got great sort of dynamic imagery. I think, we were shooting on the pontoon where we have the big skyscrapers in the background and the old tugs and cranes in the foreground, and so it's a wonderful soup of different images and characters, and I think it brings something exotic to the whole story.
And also film right in city in Kowloon and
Well, yes. Hong Kong, I suppose, offers both the sort of splendour and the magnificence and the sort of sense of wealth, like this particular location for a casino gives us, but also the back streets and the squalor and the shadiness, all of which are great ingredients for a thriller.
And whilst we're on Hong Kong, you personally, did you have any time off and manage to get out and about?
Very little time off. I had probably more time off on the recce, I would say, but little bit here and there, and it's been, all you have to do is walk in the streets. I mean, going down from Kowloon, where we were staying, up, going north through Mong Kok and some of the markets there, and the buzz and the energy, and kind of reminds me of what I imagine Venice must have been like when that was created. This incredible confection of a place, all built on trading, commerce, and on the water, people crowding together to do business together. So it's got a kind of excitement and danger to it.
And the word about Rowan, has it been working with Rowan?
It's been absolutely fantastic working with Rowan. I mean, he's an incredible performer, unlike anyone I work with, in terms of the sort of attention to detail and the kind of exploration of the character. He knows the character obviously so well. And a very collaborative experience, I would say. It has been through the writing process with Hamish McCall and Chris Clark, the producer. We've put our heads together many times, and Rowan, as a kind of a real aficionado, if you like, of comedy, he really has a great power of analysis and construction of a joke. It's been a great ally as well as an actor to work with, so it's been a terrific experience.
And finally, give us a sense of how you feel what this film will be like for those. Rowan's extremely funny in it.
Yeah.
It's a major actor.
It's going to be very interesting getting the balance tonally for this film, because it's that curious hybrid of being a comedy thriller, where I think we've got a lot of very funny bits and we've got a lot of quite exciting bits, and just gauging the balance and which scene you give precedence to which genre is going to be, I think, a major and exciting challenge in the editing process, because you feel like you could tip many of the scenes in either direction. Obviously, comedy is the center of the piece, but so often the comedy seems to be enhanced by adding just a degree of jeopardy, particularly because our Johnny does live on the edge, and the closer he is to that sort of perilous chasm beneath him, I think the more chance you have of a really good joke.